are peeling an egg, a hard-boiled egg here, and we are going to save the eggshells from this hard-boiled egg. Hey friends, it's Jasmine. I hope that you all are doing well. Today I wanted to share another crafting recipe with you all. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. I am a practicing witch and high priestess. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much for joining and tuning in. Today I want to show you all how to make Casarilla powder or Casarilla chalk. In this video, I'm going to be making it into chalk, but you can stop this video at the portion where it comes to making the actual chalk, and you can just keep it as a powder. And also, how funny is it right now that my lashes are creating the shadow on my face? I just think that's kind of funny. So for this recipe, here's what you're going to need. A plate that you can work on. And you're going to want to have some sort of bowl that you can mix things up in. You're going to want to have some eggshells. And you're going to want to have some flour. Now, because I'm bougie and simply extra, I keep my flour in this jar that I bought from Michael's craft store, which says wing of bat. I just think this is really cute. I have another one like this that I keep my sugar in here in the kitchen, but this is my flour jar. So you're going to want to have some flour. You can also choose to mix in other herbs or ingredients into your Casarilla powder. Some popular choices would be things like black salt or sage ash, cayenne pepper, black pepper, a little bit of sugar. I am going to be making a very basic mix here, so I'm just going to be using these ingredients. Also going to want to have some water. Now you could use purified water, full moon water, waxing new or waning moon water, storm water. This is actually some storm water that I am going to be using, and I have it in my little decanter here where I like to keep my sacred waters. You could also use tap water. It's really up to you. I like to use storm water for my Casarilla powder because the energy of thunderstorms where I live, thunderstorms are very chaotic, and I want to incorporate that power and that energy from a thunderstorm into what I am creating tonight in my Casarilla chalk. Pasta sauce jar, Pirano. You can soak your glass jars in some soap and water, some hot water, and it will soak that label clear off. So that way you have a nice glass jar. Now, sometimes you'll also see this labeled as bone dust, and the reason for that is because eggshells have a lot of calcium in them. So you can also sprinkle crushed up eggshells in a mortar and pestle over your plants to help them grow big and strong. But anytime you cook anything with eggs, make sure that you save those shells, and you can dry those shells off by simply leaving them on a plate for a couple of days. It'll be fine. They'll dry out nice and clean. You can save those shells, grind them up into a nice fine powder like this. Now, some botanicas or metaphysical stores will sell this under Casarilla powder or bone dust powder. I am going to be making Casarilla chalk. Now, when you make Casarilla chalk, you can use this actually to draw sigils on walls or on the floor. You can use it like you would chalk. So if you want to, draw an invoking pentagram on the ground, or a sigil or bind runes, you can use it that way. You can also use this to rub some of the powder and use it as a protective symbol or sigil over your third eye up here. And you can also use this over doorways and windows as well to ward from the evil eye or from other spiritualists sending you some nasty things. Now, when you use it over the walls or doorways, because it is totally natural and there's nothing in this that's going to leave any sort of stain or mark, you don't have to worry about it ruining your walls. That's one of the nice things. You can also use this to sprinkle across doorways or around your property. But today I want to show you how to make Casarilla chalk. This is a very protective tool You can use this to draw circles, draw sigils with, create boundaries and lines, tap into ley lines. This is about protection, warding, guarding. Okay, so let's just get right into it. The first thing that you're going to want to do is put some of the eggshells into a mortar and pestle. And you're going to want to grind this up into a nice powder. Now you can do this widdershins or diosol clockwise or counterclockwise. I like to kind of go clockwise in the sense that we're bringing goodness in, we're invoking the goodness in. And I like to also go counterclockwise because we're pushing the negativity out. This is going to be a very powerful spiritual chalk for us to use in our practice. And I plan on making some for myself because I'm fresh out, and also some for some of my friends to have as well. We have a big Ostara ritual coming up, and I think it'd be really beautiful to incorporate some of the natural power from the eggshell, that protection from the eggshell, that aspect of rebirth, rejuvenation, and renewal that comes from the egg and the egg symbolism. So you want to grind it up into a fine powder like so, and then dump this into your bowl. Once you have your eggshells all ground up into a bowl, and I like to use my hands, this is going to get messy, witches. So just be prepared. If you have a full set on, just know you're going to get messy. Make sure that you're protecting your table or that you have some paper laid down, because whenever you're working with flour, as our beloved kitchen witches know, it gets messy. So then we're going to take some of our flour. This is what my container is. I'm just using whole white flour, and we're going to pour some of that in. And I would say that you want to use half and half of eggshell powder and flour. I don't use exact measurements. So now that you have all that in the bowl, you're going to mix this. So this would be where it becomes Casarilla powder. So if you want to just keep it as a powder, then you want to stop here, because we're going to make this into chalk. But you can see the consistency of this, and you can use this as a kumkum, as an anointing agent. You can draw sigils or symbols on your forehead. You can anoint doorways or entranceways. You can place this in the boundaries of your home and hearth. But I want to make this into chalk. So let me show you how to do that. So what you want to do next is take some of your storm water, tap water, purified water, rainwater, full moon water, whatever kind of water you're using. Just be mindful of why you're using that water. Now I'm using storm water because I want to bring in the chaos and the power of the storms into my chalk. So let's pop the top. Okay, and you're going to pour some of this water into this. And this, you want it to kind of be like mud. If your mixture gets too wet, just pour some more flour in. And like I said, I like to use my hands. So this is going to be messy. You're going to have flour and everything all over the place. So just know that going in. You want your mixture to look kind of like this. You want it to kind of almost be reminiscent of like making bread or even like Play-Doh. Once you have the right consistency, you can take a little bit here in your hand, pinch off a little bit, and we're going to roll this into chalk. So roll it up into chalk, kind of like that. And you want a nice piece of chalk. So just keep folding it over until you get it into the shape that you prefer. Some people will roll circle shapes. I like to have a little bit more of like a rectangular shape, kind of like that. So it might look like a little white dog turd. That's fine. Just roll that up and then put this on your plate, and you're gonna wanna let this dry. Roll it and then fold it and then roll it again. And while you are rolling this, say your prayers into the chalk, like, may nothing cross this boundary. May all who are within this circle be protected and divinely guided. May this chalk create a space from this world and the other world. Don't be afraid to get your hands a little dirty in the craft. This is what your finished Casarilla chalks should look like. And I would go ahead and let these dry for 1 to 3 days. You want to make sure that the consistency gets nice and firm before you try to use these. Okay, so our finished Casarilla looks like this, our Casarilla chalk. Now, normally you would want to let this sit for about 1 to 3 days and let it completely dry out before you would use it. However, my partner recently got me an air fryer, and because I'm a witch in 2021, I figured why not try this. I don't know how well this is going to actually work, so if this does not work, please just let it air dry. Give it 1 to 3 days. I set my air fryer on 200 for 1 minute. Let's go ahead and give this a try. I'm gonna set the Casarilla chalk here in the air fryer. This is so 2021. We're gonna put that in there. And we will let that cook, and I'll check back in a bit. What, Tiani? Do you think this is a good idea? What do you think? Come here. Come here. Do you think this is a good idea? Should I be air frying Casarilla powder? What do you think? What do you think? Yeah? Oh, your breath is stinky. Is this gonna work? What do you think? Say hi to everybody on YouTube and Patreon, Yenny. Say hi. Say hi. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, it's actually looking kind of good, you guys. Let me see. What do you think, Yen? Does it have air? You can't eat it. Just, what do you think? It smells kind of like bread, doesn't it? Okay, we're getting a good consistency here. So I'm gonna let that cook for, what do you think, Yen? Maybe another minute or so, and then we'll come back and check on it. While that was cooking, I actually went ahead and put a robe on because I'm a little bit cold. It's like 26 degrees where I am. And that's my other dog barking, my Pikachu. She's very dramatic. But I do want to say that cooking these for about 3-ish minutes on 200 degrees worked out really well. This is how you want your Casarilla chalk to look. So if you go the air dry method, just let them dry for about 3 days and they're gonna look like this. But if you have an air fryer, you can also air fry them, and they worked so well in the air fryer. Instant, ready to use Casarilla chalk. I hope you all have enjoyed, and until next time, blessed be. We are literally so 2021.